When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what is up, Boise State fans? Happy Monday to you. Welcome on in. Bronco Nation News Live here, BroncoNationNews.com, broadcasting from the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios. My name is BJ Rains, and you know him, you love him from KTIK, The Ticket, John Mallory. Happy Monday, sir.
It's game week, BJ. I know not for Bronco Nation, but heck, Mountain West Nation, right? Isn't there 3 or 4 Mountain West teams playing? 5 in week 0, so almost half the conference is going to be playing this weekend. And I was thinking about it when I woke up this morning here in a hotel in good old Moscow, Idaho, man.
I wasn't going to go there, man. You went there, so we can go there.
It's time to kick it into another gear, dude. We have a game week 0, college football right there on the horizon. So wasn't going to miss my hit with you today, that's for sure.
This guy sends me a picture last night. He's literally on the field at practice, and I'm not just talking about on the field. He's like 10 yards behind the quarterback where the coaches stand during a scrimmage. He's like literally out in the middle of the field, man. You really are royalty up there at the University of Idaho, man.
They treat me really well. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, last night on the grass, the lights were on. Coach Eck was blasting the Sunday Night Football theme song from NBC on their speakers, and he kept saying it's Sunday Night Football. They had a late night practice, went from about 7 to 9, and yeah, X like, hey man, just go wherever you want to go. If you want to get in the huddle, just see whatever you want to see. Ball game. So
you probably could have ran up. You probably could have called a play, or heck, got out there and ran a play.
Away.
You were on the field, dude. That was pretty impressive. But I'll tell you, nobody cares about the Vandals on this show, so we'll move on to Boise State talk. But you're right, 5 games kicking off this weekend in the Mountain West, starting with Idaho State. Speaking of the local schools, at UNLV. That's a Saturday afternoon at 1:30. You got UConn at Utah State at 2 o'clock. Wyoming at Illinois is an interesting one to me. That's at 2 o'clock as well. And then you have 2 night games. Nevada is at New Mexico State, and Vanderbilt is at Hawaii. So those are the 5 games: Hawaii, Nevada, Wyoming, Utah State, UNLV, all in action this Saturday. As you mentioned, it is game week for some of the teams here in the Mountain West. It's not game week for Boise State, but school is in session. So got the pictures of my little ones going off to kindergarten and 2nd grade today. So hopefully everybody watching got their kids off to school safely. A lot started today around the country, some are tomorrow. But that includes Boise State, Johnny. Boise State starting classes today. And so fall camp is technically over with the end of the scrimmage. They're setting the depth chart here these couple of days, and then they'll start kind of a normal quote-unquote game week or in-season week tomorrow with practices Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it is starting to feel a little more like football season, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I know things are picking up there with Boise State. I'm curious to hear what Coach Avalos had to say Saturday following their closed scrimmage. So I think this is going to be a pretty good edition of Bronco Nation News Live. Hopefully we got a lot of people tuning in now and obviously later throughout the day, because I think you're going to hit us with some stuff today, BJ. Let's do this.
Yeah, Rudy says, you're broadcasting from a bathroom in Moscow. Seems par for the course.
I'm in a hotel room. I'm at the good old Best Western here in Moscow, Idaho. So it's 8:05 for me.
It is early, man. You are up early today. I thought you'd still be at the Corner Club recovering from last night, maybe, but
it was 2 nights ago.
Okay, you are here. Jordan says, is Moscow High School 4A? Do you know that?
Couldn't tell you. It used to be 2A when I went here, but that was a long time ago.
Okay. Okay, somebody I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, but anyway, fall camp is over yesterday, Johnny. They had the annual pilgrimage up Table Rock for the Boise State football team. There's the team photo taken at the top of Table Rock where they symbolically climb the mountain as they start to climb the mountain in the Mountain West. And got to show you this picture, man. Look at some of the individual position groups. Take photos and post photos and things. Johnny, what do you think of Ashton Genty? Look at this photo is kind of making a big deal on social media. There it is, zoomed in on the left. But to look at George Helani and some of these running backs, and look at the physique of Ashton Genty there on the right and left. Doesn't quite have the DK Metcalf vibes, but from that famous photo a couple years ago. But man, dude, this guy doesn't look like a freshman in college.
Wow, yeah, he's packed, dude. No question. And to speak of DK Metcalf, I mean, Ashton Genty's just a true freshman. Let's give this kid 2-3 years, see what he can do with obviously the Boise State training staff and strength and conditioning department. Looks like they're getting everything out of Ashton Genty. And I think for Bronco Nation, seeing a dude with a physique like that, very rarely you just wake out of bed and look like that, right? That means you put a heck of a lot of time, effort, and nutrition into your body to be able to have muscles popping like that. So good for BSU. Looks like they've done a lot of wonders with that kid, and maybe he's one of the big wild cards this year. I mean, wouldn't shock me if he can he be better than God, his name is escaping me already. The number 2 back last year, Cyrus Habibi-Likio. Can he have better numbers than him last year? I don't think that's off the table. I think he can, BJ.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Perry says he's going to run over some people. Rudy's saying, glad I don't have to tackle him. Yeah, I think we all are at this point. Hey, we got going to hear from Andy Avalos in a second. We do have some cool things going on. We got some cool announcements coming up. One of which, Johnny, excited that you're going to be a part of a week from tonight, 8 p.m., a week from tonight, a subscriber-only season preview show. So if you are a subscriber, a paying subscriber to Bronco Nation News, you're going to get a link in your email next Monday for a private YouTube show with all of the hosts. We're going to have Johnny and Prater jumping on. We're going to have Jay Tuss jumping on, Winston Venable, another surprise guest or two. So it's going to be a fun, probably hour-long show. You guys will each pop in and out for 10, 15 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be 8 p.m. next Monday. So if you're not a subscriber, you can still subscribe using that Fall Camp 22 promo code. But if you are, be on the lookout for that, a subscriber-only season preview. And that'll be 8 p.m. And maybe we can get Johnny to give some exclusive insight or give something special, Johnny, for the paying subscribers.
Yeah, and that's a good thing you're doing. And just a shout out to everybody watching this who is not a paying subscriber. I mean, this is the first year BNN has been able to cover this football program. I can't think of a better time to subscribe to BNN than right before football season. Especially, this is probably a sign of things to come, BJ. Who knows? Maybe you're going to have a weekly type of show like you're doing next Monday. Subscriber-only stuff during this season. I mean, I don't know what it costs. What are you doing? $52 a year?
$1 a week, man. $1
a week. Love it. So, yeah. Sign of things to come with some of this cool stuff you're going to do, BJ.
Well,
for people who haven't subscribed yet, make that happen before football season.
Appreciate you, John. Johnny just wants more subscriber-only shows, so I have to pay him more. That's why he's suggesting more subscriber shows. Somebody's wanting betting lines with ball game. Maybe that can be a segment we started up. Betting lines with ball game. Maybe we can hit on that on Mondays moving forward for the season. I think if you
bet everything I don't, just go the opposite of me the whole football season, I could almost guarantee you a winning year. BJ, I really could.
Just do the opposite of what Johnny says, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and I think you'd have a pretty good shot to have a winning year.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Hey, Andy Avalos did meet with the media. They had the second scrimmage on Saturday. Johnny, a couple of the highlights, a 75-yard touchdown run from George Helani. The fact that George Helani played in the scrimmage is notable, and the fact that he had a 75-yard touchdown run is notable as well. There were some other guys that got mentioned, but here was kind of the opening statement. Coach Andy Avalos describing that second scrimmage on Saturday.
It started off the opposite of scrimmage number one with the defense coming out and playing, pretty solid defense there for the first 4 drives, and the offense really made some adjustments to some of the things the defense came into that scrimmage with. And it ended up flipping pretty quick. So it was good to see that the offense stayed with it, made some in-game adjustments, and hit some explosive plays. Rattled off a 75-yard run, for a touchdown, and it was back and forth from there. So it was really good to see that not only did the defense respond in how they started the scrimmage, but more importantly, how the offense then responded within the scrimmage. And it was good to see again that, there was over 11 guys with at least 2 receptions on offense. The run game was solid. It was there was a couple explosive runs, but overall, the offense ran the ball for 3.8 a rush. So there was improvement there from last week for the defense. But the offense had a lot more explosive plays through the pass game. As we started moving through the scrimmage there in the first couple drives, and the defense was pretty stingy, what I wanted to see the most was, come on, boys, let's respond from the offense side. What adjustments are we going to make off of the things that the defense was doing differently? And they did, and it was awesome to see. It was great to see, guys like Eric McAllister step up and make some big-time plays. He had some explosive catches in the pass game. It was, George had a long run in the scrimmage to help get things going as well. So it was good to see those things happen.
Well, a couple of things there, Johnny. First of all, last year, some of this criticism, I think, of Tim Plow and the offense was the failure to make adjustments, particularly in the game when things wouldn't go well. That's one of the criticisms that Tim Plow got, was unable to kind of make adjustments. So you hear the first 4 drives, they come out in the scrimmage and pretty much do nothing. The defense shuts them down. And then you get a 75-yard run from George Halani. And then you get what he called a back and forth game after that. So that's an encouraging sign to hear the offense respond. You had 11 different receivers or running backs with 2 catches each. The running game overall, if you have a 75-yard run and you only rush for 3.8 a carry, that's not necessarily a good sign because that means most of the other runs weren't very good. He said most of the explosive plays came through the passing game on Saturday. But overall, I guess just your takeaways from the second scrimmage.
Well, and also on that 75-yard teeter from Halani, a lot of times, as you know, in college football, you'll struggle to run the ball, but if you can pop a couple runs, big splash play runs, it'll make your rushing total look a lot better, and that's fine, however you get the yards. I also want to say good stuff from Spencer Danielson on the defense, because what Coach Avalos was saying, how the offense took it to the defense the previous scrimmage, Spencer had something up his sleeve, right? Andy said he came out there and the defense had a game plan, and it absolutely worked. They got essentially 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. So good for the defense to make that initial adjustment and say, hey, we're not going to give up a 10-play, 75-yard touchdown drive this scrimmage. And they didn't. And I think the defense is going to rule the roost with this football team this year. I think the defense is going to be considered the best unit on this team. Now, I'm not saying the offense won't be good. I just think this has a chance to be a top 1-2 defense in the Mountain West. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And yeah, good for Tim Plow too, right? On the fly, in a game, in a situation where, heck, what we wanted to do coming into this, it's not working. 4 straight 3-and-outs or whatever it is. All right, let's mix it up a little bit and find other ways to move the football. And they did that. And part of that, coaches will tell you this. Get good players, right? Good players make good coaches. And George Halani is a really good football player. So for him to kind of bust out, get that run, give the offense some momentum, put the defense back on its heels a little bit, saying, oh, shnikes. All right, that was a good play here. We got to stop this guy. That's just a lot of good things to hear about this league. About this team. And good for Tim Plow to make those adjustments. And let's see what they can do in Corvallis, man. Here we go. Season's getting ready to start.
Hey, if you're heading out to the Western Idaho Fair this week, make sure to check out the Blue and Orange Store booth. They'll be out there all week selling Boise State gear out there at the Western Idaho Fair. If you're not in town, you can check them out online, theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping for any order over $40. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. 13 Idaho locations. Check them out. The at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery. Find a location near you at shopridleys.com. United Commercial Insurance. If you own a business or you help with the business insurance portion of the business, 44 states around the country. They can write business policy. We, Bronco Nation News, use them for our business insurance. It was a great, easy, quick process. Get more information, 229-8222. A quick call could save you hundreds of dollars. And if you're looking for a dentist, check out my man, Dr. Chris Miner at Boise Dentistry Co. Pulled one of my son's teeth last week. Just does a great job. Makes it fun going to the dentist. You can talk some Boise State sports while you're in the chair there. Check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Locations across the Treasure Valley. Johnny, let's hear some more from Andy Avalos talking about that second scrimmage.
We're really excited about where we're at right now. I mean, today's scrimmage was in duration, in time, was about the same length of what a game is, the average game. From a rep standpoint, the Blues got reps that would take them right there into the rep count was right there of what it would be in the beginning of the fourth quarter on average. So it was really good, being that the guys got great work in, situational work, improved in different areas. And again, as a team, if we're going to improve, it is going to go back and forth. Otherwise, one side's getting better and the other one isn't, by the nature of it. So it was good to see it go back and forth today. It was good to see the guys grind through it, out there in the heat in the hottest part of the day. So it was it was a really good scrimmage.
Good scrimmage. He said he's very pleased. And I know he's not going to tell us, Johnny, but nothing has really leaked out or anything. The one thing it doesn't sound like, and he has not said, is that there's any kind of season-ending injuries or anything. So knock on wood, to this point, it seems like they've stayed fairly healthy. Again, he probably wouldn't tell us even if there wasn't, but it just seems like to this point they're doing okay health-wise. But they got the reps in. And as I said, now they have to set that depth chart. School starting today. And it's time for them to figure out that depth chart. I asked him specifically about the depth chart. He didn't want to say a ton about that. But in terms of the overall depth of this team and where they're at, I think this next soundbite here is going to be very encouraging for Boise State fans.
We've been able to practice the way we have and build that depth to get the reps, because of the way we've been able to recruit and develop this team this year. And, to your question, there's plenty of guys there's two guys that can be the ones. And I know there's only 11 that get to step on the field at one time. But the benefit of the way these guys have been training and preparing is we have multiple guys, at almost every single position that can jump in there, and it doesn't fall off very much. And in a lot of cases, it doesn't fall off at all.
That's encouraging, Johnny, to say that at most positions they have two guys that are close enough that could be considered starters. And he said at a lot of positions, it doesn't drop off at all from the number one to the number two. So it seems like you get Andy Avalos a year of recruiting, a year of getting his system going. And as he goes into year two here, it sounds like the depth is something he's pretty excited about.
Well, if you look at the Mountain West, Boise State just has more power and better resources than every other school. And you can go back to the Chris Peterson era where you could say pretty easily they had a decided schematic advantage with their coaching staff. Their coaching staff was better than any other staff in the league, and they had better players than any other team in the league. And that's why, Chris Peterson won, 61 out of his first 66 games there. I don't know what the deal is with this staff, but that's really good to hear because and we're going to find out this year, Andy Avalos in this staff, where are they in relation to all the other Mountain West schools? It felt like to me, I don't know about you, BJ, but last year it didn't feel like Boise State's coaches were just better than everybody in the league and Boise State's players were just better than everybody in the league. And that's how Boise State's been for like 20 years, man, whether it's the WAC or the Mountain West. They've just been better than everybody. Better coaches, better players, better facilities, better recruiting coming in, bigger crowds, better fans. Like they've just been better. And I felt like last year that the league caught up to them a little bit. 4 teams in this league won 10 games last year. Boise State wasn't one of them. So what is Boise State, if anything, going to do this year to kind of extend its dominance, right, with the rest of the league and say, hey, we're still Boise State. You guys are still other Mountain West schools, and we're just better than you. We spend more money at this than you in a lot of cases, and that shows on Saturday. So if that's the case and Coach Avalos has this thing going and we're going to see that this year, then it's going to be a heck of an era moving forward for Boise State Andy Avalos and his staff, BJ.
Couple different position battles and things going on, Johnny. Let's go to the defensive standouts first. Andy Avalos was asked from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2 and kind of to this point in camp, who has separated themselves. And he didn't say who the starters are, but said who have separated themselves. And a couple interesting names mentioned here.
Well, I think overall from a roster standpoint, Ty Jones getting back in there and really going full go this week. It looks a little different when Ty Jones is in there. And so now guys are really able to hone in at the positions moving forward for the season. So it was really good to see him in there. George Tarlis is doing a great job at the field side and a spot that he's been competing for. So we've liked the progress there. DJ Schramm's been doing an awesome job at will linebacker as well. And Markel coming off his injury from last year, he's done a nice job. We just want to see him be more consistent. And obviously that's going to come with more reps, being that he hasn't played a lot of ball since last fall.
George Tarlis, DJ Schramm, Markel Reed, those were all three guys fighting for starting spots, and they were the three guys that Andy Avalos mentioned.
Tarlis is going to be a player. Bronco Nation's going to love him. His energy level, enthusiasm. It's going to feel, hopefully, for Bronco Nation that he's been here 3 or 4 years going into this year, not just a 1-year, grad transfer player. I think he's going to have a terrific year. And I like what I'm hearing with DJ Schramm. And I'll be honest, when I heard Isaiah Banya moved to Will, I thought that was over. I thought Banya's going to be the guy. No question. His length, his athleticism, that's a no-brainer. But DJ Schramm is holding him off, which is great for DJ Schramm. He's thinking, no, this is my position. I've known this position for years, and I'm just going to play my tail off and work as hard as I can to not get off this field. And he's doing that, and he's giving Spencer Danielson a really tough decision. But again, dependable depth, right? Sounds like BSU has several positions where, like you said, it's 1 in 1A. It's not necessarily 1 in 2. So good for the depth, and that only helps you on special teams too, BJ. I think Boise State this year going to be real deep on special teams, and maybe special teams can win them a game or two this year. That stuff happens.
We'll talk special teams here in a minute. I want to hear Andy Avalos talking about the 75-yard touchdown run as well from George Shalani. But I want to thank a couple more of our sponsors quickly. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. No home is too big or too small for Matt Bauscher. He's the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, please consider supporting Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, and Johnny, this could be everything from hauling a big rig to wanting to drive for Amazon, one of those trucks in the neighborhood, check them out, transcomservice.com. They can help you with all the permits, all the things you need. Check them out, transcomservice.com. Tremendous sponsors, and they can help you get out there towing that first load in no time. Westside Pizza, use that promo code BNN25. BNN25 is the promo code, and you get 25% off your order. So we appreciate them, and great pizza. And again, 25% off your order using the promo code BNN25 at Westside Pizza. Idaho Central Credit Union. You can see why over 500,000 members love Idaho Central Credit Union. You can join today at ICCU.com. Again, 1 in 4 Idahoans. You can manage your Idaho Central Credit Union accounts online, anytime, anywhere with eBranch Mobile and online banking. You can learn more. Again, their website, sign up today. The official bank of Bronco Nation News. You can sign up at ICCU.com. And last but not least, a quick word from our friends at Lithia Ford.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
George Shalani, I thought, was one of the big storylines, Johnny. 75-yard touchdown. Not only did he play, but he did what a lot of Boise State fans are hoping he's going to do on September 3rd. Here's a quick clip of Andy Avalos talking about that touchdown.
One in particular that went for 75 yards. It was the whole offense. There was wide receivers involved in the blocking scheme, and they actually did a really good job to spring George, and they weren't going to catch George when he got in the open field.
That's encouraging, right?
Right. I mean, like the royalty of recent Boise State running backs. Okay. I mean, for me, Brock Forsey, Ian Johnson, Doug Martin, Jay Ajayi, Alexander Madison, Jeremy McNichols, right? Kind of the royalty. And let me flip McNichols and Madison. Kalani isn't there yet. He has not had one of those seasons. He had 1,000-yard year, but it was just over 1,000, and it took him the bowl game to get it. The other guys I mentioned, the years they had, 20-plus touchdowns. Sometimes close to 30 touchdowns in a season, like major factors in the offense. If Kalani can get anywhere close to that neighborhood with those guys, kind of the recent legends at that position, well, this team's going to be better. Boise State needs this. And I think maybe us in the media, I think maybe the fan base, I think a lot of people took those seasons for granted. Look at the year Ajayi had in 14, right? Look at McNichols, I think it was in 16. Go back, way back. Look at the years Brock Forsey and Ian Johnson had. The one year Madison popped. Like, if Kalani can do that this year, it's going to change things entirely. And I like where the offensive line is, BJ. And I think an offensive line is a big reason for running back success, right? All those guys I mentioned, those offensive lines were filled with all league players. So it kind of comes with the line in the back kind of are exclusive there. But if Kalani can have a year like that, this offense goes to another dimension. And I think that's a dimension this offense needs to get to win 10, 11 regular season games. And I don't know, make a push for the Cotton Bowl in a New Year's Six bid. Kalani, probably the most important player on this offense, although I always hate to say it's anybody but the quarterback. But Hank and Kalani, I mean, if both those guys have career years, this team probably doesn't have a lot of obstacles in its way. I think they can get all of their goals if those two things happen. And I really want to see, and I hope George can do that, have one of those years with those guys that I mentioned at historical statistic levels. BJ, I went to College Football Reference. It's a site I go to every day. And I look at like single season touchdown numbers and in college football history. And in like the top 50, Boise State has like 4 guys on there. Ajayi, Brock, Doug. They're just, it's like, wow, like those guys really did put up sensational numbers. They didn't have a lot behind them either. It was kind of the bell cow system. As you know, Boise State, Harsin really liked to do that. Find one guy, whether it's McNichols, whether it's Ajayi, whether it's Madison, and let's just give that kid the rock. I hope I see that from Kalani this year.
One final position battle that Andy Avalos commented on was the battle at the field safety spot. Rodney Robinson, Shea Oladipo fighting for the spot now that Ty Jones has moved to nickel. Here's Coach Avalos on that.
Ty Jones brings a whole nother level of experience from knowledge of the defense, in-game adjustments, and being able to see, recognize, and adjust on the fly. So, that's a position right there that obviously we'll carry on into this week, to see who best suits to go on the field first, but they're both going to play. I mean, they both have done a really good job in their second year with the time they've gotten on the field. It's much improved from where they were last year, as you would expect, them being younger guys.
And that's another spot where we all just assumed, I think it would be Shea Oladipo, and it sounds like Rodney Robinson's pushing him. So Andy Avalos is talking about that depth, John, and it seems like that a lot of guys are, pushing for spots, and if they're not starting, I think we're either going to see a lot of ors on the depth chart, Johnny, this guy or this guy, or we're at least going to see a lot of guys playing, it seems like, early in the year.
Yeah, I mean, those are such good things to hear for this fan base that, these position battles are still going on as you get closer to beginning the season. And when I think about this secondary and I crunch the numbers here and look at the depth chart, I don't know that it's not the deepest unit on this football team. As far as playing time, a lot of these guys have started multiple games. The depth there, you have the overall star power with J.L. Skinner and Tyreek Jones. I don't know if it's not the deepest unit on the team. I have very high expectations for Kane Ione running this thing. And this secondary this season, I think, is going to play lights out football, man. I do.
Hey, we've been broadcasting from the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios. Make sure you pick up a Cutwater Canned Cocktail, your favorite Long Island vodka mule, whatever the choice may be at your local gas station or grocery store. Don't forget about that Fall Camp 22 promo code as well. Fall Camp 22 gets you full coverage for $1 a week. If you're watching this on YouTube, please, as the YouTubers say, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Help us build the YouTube channel here, and don't miss any future videos. And I hope you enjoyed last week's first episode of the Winston Venable Show. Every Wednesday, 9 a.m., Winston Venable will join us. He will be a part, Johnny, of the special show Monday night, previewing the season only for paying subscribers. It'll be Monday night, 8 p.m., a week from today, where we'll get together and have exclusive chat previewing the season, take your questions, your comments for paying subscribers. So, Johnny, appreciate your time, man. Safe travels back. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you back in studio tomorrow. It'll be, Bob and Prater today on KTIK 95.3 The Ticket. I'm sure Andy Avalos sound, and they'll have lots of discussions from what they heard from Coach Avalos as well. So make sure you listen 3 to 6 today, 95.3 FM, The Ticket, 1350 AM. And Johnny, as always, appreciate your time, man, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, BJ.
John Mallory, there he is. Appreciate him. Appreciate you guys for checking us out and for watching the show. Have a great rest of your Monday. And if news breaks, we'll be back. If not, we'll talk to you with Jay Tuss, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News, Bronco Nation News.